Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I got a plant unboxing. I'm pretty excited about it. I only got two fish as well, two types of fish, some rainbows and some haps, some pretty rare haps, which is African cichlids for people that don't know. Now it is a lot of plants. I'm going to be selling a few of them, but most of them are for an upcoming fish room build that you all are going to see here, as long as you stay subscribed and click that notification bell. Let's get to opening these plants. All right, so it is a mess in my fish room. It's probably a bit noisy as well. I've been working on getting plumbing taken care of, finally, like a year later, just to help with water changes a little bit. You can see I got a little bit right there going on this side of the room. And I use the siphon. I still siphon old school. I'll probably always do it that way just because it gives me a chance to look at the fish and look in the tank, make sure there's nothing funky going on. So I don't know that I'll ever go to automatic water changes. I like getting in my fish tanks and, you know, just making sure everything's okay, especially because I gotta sell these fish. Okay, so lots and lots of plants. This is a beautiful site. Frog bit, 25 frog bits in here. Nice, big, beautiful plants. Awesome. What else? Oh man, I love that everything is labeled. That's gonna make this way easier. What do we got here? Anubias afzelii small, and I love that these are not potted. You have no idea how happy that makes me. What do we got here? Looks like, I hope I don't say that every time. What do we got here? What do we got here? That's gonna get old fast. Logwidia Cuba leaded bunches. These will be for sale, not for a while, because I am not going to take plants and flip them. These are grown out of the water, so I've got to grow them. I've got to convert them to submersed form. That's going to take a while. I tried to do that last year, and then I ended up keeping all the plants. But hopefully I don't do that again. This is obviously some giant freaking hairgrass right here. Yep, giant hairgrass. What's next? Sagittarius subulata. Okie dokie. Red Reuben small. This is a sword plant. Again, not potted. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Anubias fraserii. I don't know if I said that right. Cardinal plant small. So if you've ever seen the small form of the cardinal plant, you know this is not it. Again, this is grown out of water, and we got to change that to, you know, submersed. So Rosetta small. This is another sword plant. Super awesome. I'm gonna run out of room really quick here. I didn't realize that it was this many plants. Java fern, awesome. I have ordered Java fern so many times and it has never come in. I am so happy. Just small little bunches, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. And it's not too expensive when it's small like that. What do we got here? Another stem plant. This will be another one that's for sale. Logwidia needle leaf. This is an amazing plant. Absolutely amazing. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put this stuff. Right now I'm just stacking it on the other box, and I'm gonna have to get to that box eventually, so that's not gonna work. Anubias nana petite. Boy, this is really petite. That's all right though. That's all right. Bacopa. We got some Bacopa. Just Bacopa. It doesn't say what kind. I mean, let's be real. Bacopa all looks the same anyways. Some Anubias congensis. Here's another one. Hygrophila aragueya. I'm butchering these names, but whatever. Some Flora ruffle. That's kind of a bog plant. Here's one that'll be for sale too. Logwidia ovalis. This is a really cool plant. Nice oval leaves. All right, what do we got here? Anubias nanjai. Awesome. Some crypts. Oh man, I am so happy that none of this is potted. Cryptocorn ponturdifolia. That's an interesting plant. If you've never seen that, it has some really long leaves. Oh, and my plant pile just fell over. Cryptocorn wendetii. All right, here we go. Another one that will be for sale, Rotala. This is just Rotala indica, I believe. And as you can see, again, the difference of these being grown in a greenhouse versus in a tank. It's gonna take a while for that stuff to swap over. Hydro, willow hydro, this stuff is amazing. I have a few stems of that actually right behind the Vibrobites here, right there. Next up, we got Aponegitans, Olvaceous. What else? Madagascar lace. I don't even know what this one is. There we go, Bulviniatus, something like that. Longfellow, long something, and just some dwarf aquarium lily bulbs. I think there's about a dozen of them in there. So that's box number 1. Now moving on to box number 2, which should have the few fish I got in here. I honestly don't even know what other plants are left. I feel like that should be just about all of them, but I don't know. We'll see how full or empty this box is. That's it, just the fish apparently. So that's kind of disappointing. I paid for an entire full box for just 2 bags of fish. That's kind of frustrating, to be honest. You know how much extra I pay in shipping for that? And what do we got here? It looks like these are gonna be my haps. I don't know that I want to say what they are. If anyone wants to take a guess at them, you're more than welcome. I'll probably say it by the time this video is over anyways, but all alive and looking well. And then the other box here, I did order a bunch of other fish and I was shorted a ton of fish. So I don't know, it's frustrating to get shorted, but I understand you're out of stock, but to still ship in a large box like this, looks like all the Macolichis made it. So that's about it as far as the unboxing goes. I'm gonna get these fish inside a tank and then we'll take a look at them once they're colored up. So it's been a couple hours now. They're definitely settled in. I'm gonna butcher the name of this fish, but it's Haplochromis theirudion. I don't know. You look at that word and tell me how to pronounce it. I have no idea. And then obviously we got the Macolichi rainbows. They're doing well. I think they're about ready for some food. What do I have? Oh, I have this Vibrobites up here, this bag of Vibrobites. If I can get my hand out of the bag. And we'll see if they eat. Oh yeah, they're going for it, they see it. So that's a really good sign, I like that. Here they're coming up all the way up here to eat too. Now these fish are really cool. I've kept them in the past, well, both of them. But the haps, they're kind of a smaller hap and they have this long cylinder type body. And I just love it. The males will get really dark and red and they just look amazing. And again, it's just one that you don't see very often. So I mean, I got these to sell, but I don't know. And none of them are colored up right now. They still got a little bit of growing to do. Not much, they'll get about an inch longer. Not a bigger body, they'll just get a little bit longer. And of course, you know, the haps, they'll just be one dominant male that shows that color, but the less dominant ones can show a little bit of color, but you know, nothing like the king of the tank. See, there's some sparring going on in the back by that sponge filter, so they're still trying to figure out who the king's gonna be. See, I dropped in some Java fern in here that I got, and just quarantining this all together. I generally don't quarantine plants anymore from this place. I've had lots of good luck with their plants, so I kind of trust them. I'm also not too concerned about snails getting in my tanks because there are snails everywhere. Now you might be asking, what are you gonna do with all these plants? Well, here is a 10-gallon full of plants. This is the Cuba. Yeah, I do gotta write it down. It's easy to identify them when they're submersed grown, but when they're still in this form, I do gotta write it down. This is the Ovalis. I just call it Oval. Ovaltine, Lagwidia Ovaltine. And I'm also starting my breeding fish for profit tank back up. Here are the Poppin Creek rainbows. Over here is the Rotala indica. Floating it slowly, getting it planted in here. But you can see here, like, this is immersed grown and it looks completely different than submersed Rotala indica. So pretty common plant, but really a beautiful, easy plant to grow. I'm gonna be growing these in low light, no CO2, minimal ferts. I'll use easy green, but that's about it. And let me show you the breeding fish for profit tank. So it's been a while since I've featured this tank and not a lot has changed except for the plants and the guppies. So mutt guppies, whereas before they were red delta guppies. cherry shrimp aren't really that cherry anymore. That's about as bland and clear as it gets. And then there's also bristlenose plecos in here as well. Now I just did a water change. I lowered the level down so it's easier to plant these guys. But look at that substrate. I'm really curious to see how all this mulm is gonna do. Hopefully these plants just suck it up. Obviously it's not gonna go away. I mean, the plants don't make that go away, but there should be a lot of goodness in here for these plants. So the water is just a bit cloudy. I need to get more females in here. Got one poor female up here. Definitely a bad mix, a bad ratio, male to female. Pleco stirring up dust over here. It's a female bristlenose pleco. So yeah, I got the bacopa planted over here. This is the Lugwidia needle leaf over here, and of course, just gobs and gobs and gobs of guppy grass. So when I did the water change, I did stir up all the substrate to release any gas pockets that might be in there, because honestly, this tank hasn't been touched in a very, very long time. And that sounds horrible, but obviously, look at the mulm. Parameters have always been fine. The bristlenose plecos have been in here pretty much exclusively. The cherry shrimp, I kind of got rid of them, but some of them still were in here. It's hard to catch them all. There's all these snails up here floating from me stirring up the substrate. I need to get that one hooked back up. This one I just keep in here to keep it cycled. Okay, there's another female over there. So there is a couple females in here, but definitely we need to get some more females in there. I might move some of the black Moscow female guppies in here. And not all of them, I'm not gonna ruin that line, but at least a couple of them. And be curious to see what we come up with. So I think this will be a fun project. The plants for profit will of course be the bacopa and the Lugwidia. I don't ship stargrass because don't focus on my finger. I don't ship stargrass because sometimes you gotta ship it 3 times, 4 times before it survives. And that's just not very fun. I know some people have success shipping it. I do not. Now I know what you might be asking, what about all these other plants? There was way more plants than what you just showed us. And yep, you can see still an entire box of plants here. These are actually going to Danny, and we'll be growing those up there in the fish room that we're building up there. And it's basically gonna be like an extension. We're gonna be doing a lot of breeding projects up there, so that's gonna be fun. Look at the lipstick rainbows. Oops, sorry. Smash into the glass every time. I do it every time. These guys are really looking. Look at this guy. Holy smokes. I need to get these out in a tub. Speaking of tubs, every single one of these yellow rainbows. Oh, look at that light. Oh, sorry. These are yellow rainbows, Herbert axelrodi. These will be going outside as well. So hopefully by the end of summer, we'll have a lot of yellow rainbow fry. So these are Gerald Allen strain yellow rainbows. Hopefully they'll kind of get busy out in the tub, and we'll have a lot of fry to sell come fall. All right, well, there you have it. The lights are starting to turn off behind me. Next order of business is gonna be to clean up this fish room so I can once again do another fish room tour. And we're probably gonna do it with the other, I just noticed I got a little cobweb on the lens right there. That's really weird. But anyways, I gotta get this cleaned up. There's just junk everywhere. After a couple days working in here, it's kind of unavoidable, but gonna get this cleaned up, do a fish room tour, and we'll also include a fish room tour of the old fish room. So I'm really gonna start working on getting things cleaned up because a lot of people want a fish room tour, so I'm gonna make it happen. But anyways, I hope you had fun hanging out with me, and I'll see you all next time.